All right, welcome back to the Name Redacted Podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. Got a full house tonight. Pat's here. He's yawning already. We are 15 seconds into the podcast. Pete's here. Tyler's here. Jake's here. Full house. Everyone's here. Everyone's excited. Everyone's very excited and happy to be here. Pat?
Can't wait. Super excited.
Super excited to be here. We're recording this on Monday night because last night I drove to the deepest parts of the state of Maine, to Colbys compound, and whatever fucking town in Maine that he lives in with my family. Spent the day with his family, nice old barbecue. Took about 18 hours to commute back to society here in Massachusetts. It was a great day. It was a great day. Loved it. Had a great time. Got to see Coley where he does his podcast now. He's at Underdog back with Tyler. Congratulations to Coley. He will be coming on from time to time with us. Not every episode, as we mentioned prior, but he'll be back from time to time. I don't want to immediately jump into Red Sox talk, but I feel like this has to be said, and I feel like Tyler might agree with this take. We never, I guess because we don't do daily podcasts, but if we had done a podcast going into Sunday's game, I think I would have labeled it the biggest game of the year.
I was in the same spot, and I think, Pat, you ended up quote tweeting or whatever I said. I was like, the Red Sox need to win tomorrow. After coming out in that second game, you get what you got out of Michael Wacha. Obviously, the first game was back and forth before imploding, but yeah, the Red Sox needed it. And you see how much their odds have swung really in just a week over the last series. It's dramatic. Baseball Reference gives you a 2.8% chance of making the playoffs. Fangraphs below 7, and 538's right at 7. You needed that game. You needed to make a statement. You needed to keep that momentum going before going up against, we got the Rays and the Blue Jays right now. You needed to make a statement. And unfortunately, you kind of did the exact opposite. And what killed your team is the stuff that's kind of killed you all year. And now you have Nate Eovaldi injured all on top of it.
Yeah, I think like one game does not make or break your entire season, but it was the difference of being a game and a half back of Baltimore versus now 3.5 back of Baltimore. And it would have been 3 series wins in a row.
Technically 4 if we're going to count the Orioles
series. So one game against,
if we really want to go there, but that's what it would have been. It would have been another series win in a row. And now instead you've lost 3 out of 4.
Yeah. It's just winning that game would have meant so much more than I think we realized going into that series as where they are in the wild card and winning some consecutive series. I don't give a shit that they were in Williamsport. Fuck them kids. But I think playoff implications of winning that game were greater than I realized when I woke up on Sunday. I was like, wait a second. And then I looked at the standings. I was like, if we fucking win this game, we're a game and a half back of Baltimore. Like this is not over. Like we win a bunch of series in a row here. And then obviously it doesn't get easy with Toronto this week. They're hot and they're, burning down the trail of first place with the New York Yankees, who stink. But yeah, I mean, I think it would have been a nice little confidence booster going into that series against the Jays.
I think Alex Cora agreed with you. He talked about it. He's like, this is the time when we have to start winning series. There's no more waiting. There's no more hoping. I think Alex Cora has told you in the last week or so, there's no more, we're going to give it time. Xander Bogaerts and JD Martinez, is that power coming? We heard Alex Cora all year tell you, hey, it's coming. We just got to wait. We got to be patient. We're not waiting anymore. Alex Cora told you that. He goes, we just aren't going to win many games via the home run. Yeah, I think
he did say that.
It's just realistic. He's no longer, you can only hold out hope for so much longer. There's 40 games remaining. 28 of them are against the AL East. You need to really get it together. That is 70%. And the Orioles felt like kind of the appetizer. You got the Blue Jays coming up right now. Keep stringing this together. If you're going to have a month like you did for May into June, which really is what you need if you hope to get into the high 80s for wins, if you want to be where, the Mariners, the Rays, and the Blue Jays are projected to finish right now in the upper 80s, you can't afford to have a series like this. And I think the truth is, you kind of got the pitching you needed, especially in the last 2 games, and you still couldn't get the job done. And ultimately, if you can't get the job done with what you have in there right now, it's going to be really hard for the rest of the season because now you're missing one of your best arms. And really, the engine of the team stalled out. Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, Rafael Devers all have below a 600 OPS in the month of August.
Has anyone here not given up on the idea of going to the postseason in 2022?
I've not given up.
Yeah, you're positive, Paul.
Yeah, positive, Paul. Listen, it wasn't a great. It wasn't a phenomenal series to watch for me as a Red Sox fan, but if we want to look at the positives, like I have,
let's look at the positives.
Let's look at the positives, guys. Let's listen. Positive Paul's here, guys, and we're gonna have some fun. So we have, like was stated previously, we were on a nice little streak of winning series there. We won 3 in a row. Could have very easily won that series. Would have been 4 in a row. But listen, if we go ahead and take care of Toronto, we're the better team. We all know that. We're the much better team than Toronto is. We're much better than...
We know that?
Yeah, we definitely know that. We're much better than Tampa. We all know that. Mm-hmm. Take care of business the way we're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll see what happens in Minnesota. So I think, listen, it wasn't a great loss, but we're 3 we've won 3 of our last 6, which is great. Mm-hmm. And we're in a great spot here. We're really, really, if you told me back in April that, Pat, listen here, we, the Red Sox, are going to be 6 games out of the 3rd wild card spot that didn't exist until this year, going into, late August, I'd be like, sign me up. We're in a great spot. Right?
I feel like that's a terrible spot.
Just
no.
Real glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah, we have them right where we want them.
Also, some positive, Paul, for me. The Friday night game. What was that? 8. What did we lose? Fucking 15-10.
15-10.
You scored 10 runs with JD on the bench, Xander ejected by the 4th, and Raffy went 0 for 5. He scored 10 runs. If you don't give up a 15 spot there, you're talking about a convincing win.
And the worst part of that whole game was, Cutter Crawford got his shit kicked in. He gave up 9 runs. Guess what?
That was bad.
You battled back. You made it 10-9. And then what happens? Sawamura, thank you. Anytime, you start to have a little faith, shits the bed. And he's been amazing on the road this year, but still. Gives up the shot. What was it? Mountcastle. And then Brazier. 5 earned runs? Are you kidding me? That's the kind of stuff where when I watch the Red Sox, and I consider myself on the positive end of the spectrum with a lot of this stuff, you can't have that. You can't have a guy going in where, your offense keeps you in the game. It's demoralizing. And that's part of the reason I had an issue with what Bogaerts did, because his impact was felt on both sides of the ball. You get yourself kicked out in the 4th inning of a slugfest on, let's keep it a buck, a borderline call. It's a borderline call from a pretty good performance from the ump that night. If you look at that card as well, he wasn't terrible by any means. What happens later? Jarren Duran can't catch a ball in center field that Kike Hernandez would have got to if he was still playing center field, but he had to move because Xander Bogaerts had to come out. Oh, and then Kike Hernandez bobbles a ball that same inning as well that Xander Bogaerts probably doesn't bobble at shortstop. And that's some of the stuff here. And, that Xander Bogaerts column came out today from Spear talking about, how frustrated he is, and he's gotten cortisone shots in his shoulder and, in his wrist. And I get that. I really do. He's battled. I'm not one of those people trying to tell you Xander Bogaerts is worthless right now, like some are. But I have not loved that side of him the past couple of weeks, and it feels like we've gotten a lot of it. And it's not a typical Xander Bogaerts that I've seen. Doesn't change how I feel whether you should pay him or not. I've made my statement clear, but a moment like that is not great leadership, in my opinion. And, the previous week, a lot of the beat reporters signaling out Bogaerts and saying, first time they ever seen him skip out with the media after he got picked off on that play trying to go to third base. Something's going on with him. And it's clear. Maybe it's contract. Maybe he's not happy with how this year has gone for him in terms of the power numbers and stuff like that. And he's been miserable in August. Just Not a great look. Not a great look,
So-
and it's one of the reasons I have a hard time being positive right now.
On the topic of Xander Bogaerts, I am baffled by how quickly, and it's usually like the younger fans that haven't seen the full scope of Xander Bogaerts, or I don't know, they're trying to be like edgy or something. But the younger fans have turned on Xander on Twitter like that. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, that's our guy. Like,
a lot of it's the Bluminati. Like, if we're being honest, it's a lot from that direction.
Is it really? Because I don't doubt that, but I just don't know where it's coming from. But I've seen a lot of it from some Red Sox fans that I like respect. But I just do not know where the Xander hatred. I think hate is too strong, but it is a lot of like Xander negativity. Like, oh, some captain you are, and this guy sucks. And I'm like, what? Like, when did this happen? Like, I thought if there was going to be one guy that was bulletproof with the fan base, it would be the dude that has taken less to stay here, has been in the organization since he was a teenager, has 2 World Series rings, like still in his prime. Like, what are we doing here? I feel like the organization and some of the fan base is just like escorting Xander Bogaerts to the airport and see you the fuck later. It's like, what's your plan? Like, what is your plan? Because I think a lot of the people that are pissing and moaning about Xander Bogaerts right now and his performance, when we just, the human element, he's playing hurt. It wasn't hard to, like, Xander Bogaerts' power doesn't just disappear when he's in one of his prime years of his life. So it was obvious that in hockey, Pete, hockey reference, you usually find out injuries after the season's over. Like, the season ends and that's like, oh yeah, that guy had 3 broken ribs and his lung was collapsed, but he was still out there in Game 7 though. And with Xander, like, that's just in his DNA. He plays through injuries. He tries to play 150 plus games every single year. And he's in a contract year where he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know if the Red Sox are going to play fair with him in the offseason. So he's playing for someone else. Like, he's playing for the attention of 29 other teams to be like, when he's a free agent, hey, it's very hard to walk into free agency when it's like, all right, yeah, I have this shoulder issue. I have this whatever issue. And now, like, the teams that don't know you very well, they're going to be skeptical. You as a player, you're already skeptical that the Red Sox are going to make a real honest effort to sign you. So now you're thinking, all right, I'm playing for the attention of these other teams. So if I just take time off or I'm out for like a month, that's dollars out of my pocket. When I go into free agency, they're going to be like, yeah, like, you're breaking down and you didn't put up the numbers last year. So that's actually, this AAV is down here. Like, you're asking up here where it's actually down here. So he's probably going through that all right now, where you have to make a decision. Are you going to take time off and cost yourself dollars in free agency? Or are you going to take some cortisone shots, suck it up and get out there and play because your team needs you? Like, you're in fucking last place and you are the captain of the team. Or you can just fucking sit out and hurt the team that way. Like, he's in an impossible situation. So I don't get the fans that are like out on Xander. Like, dude's at least fucking getting the cortisone shot and going out there and playing, trying to help the fucking team. Like, I'm not defending the fact that his power is down, and he homered on Sunday night, and that was his 10th?
Yep.
10th home run of the year. So, like, the power is down, but if he's playing hurt and he knows that me being out there is better than me not being out there, regardless of what I can bring to the table because I'm fucking hurt, like, you have to respect that. So, yeah, I don't know. The Xander hate really fucking pisses me off.
No, and listen, for people who want to say Xander Bogaerts blows or he's fallen off or whatever it may be, just for reference, 128 weighted runs created plus, that's 3rd amongst all shortstops in baseball this year. 4.2 FWAR, 4th amongst all shortstops. 370 OBP, 1st amongst all shortstops. Outs above average this year, 76th percentile for a guy who's been well below average defensively in his entire career, is now on the other end of it. It reminds me a lot of 2017. That's the way I describe it. When we knew Bogaerts wasn't healthy, he was having those wrist and hand problems, and he didn't have the same ability to drive the ball like we had seen in previous years. But what I see this year is a lot of younger Xander before he tapped into that power when he was hitting for those high batting averages every single year. It's been more of that, and I think that's where you see the injury kind of come into play. Do I think it's fair to say that he seemed not all the way there this month? I think it is fair. I think some of the comments he's made, and he has the right to say what he's going to say, but they have caused some distractions at times this year. And, I think that has to factor in. And I just think that 4th inning situation the other day, that's not a good situation. That's not. You can't get ejected during a time where the Red Sox, you need the series. You needed the series. We just talked about how important that game was, and you got yourself thrown out. You got to have some accountability for that. And I understand the people who want to say, well, he has the contract and whatever. I don't see Aaron Judge bitching. I don't. I see him playing and, playing for an MVP. And at the same time, Bogaerts does have a contract here. I know people don't want to talk about it. He does. If it's bothering you that much, you have a contract here. You do. You're not getting thrown out by the wayside here. Did they disrespect you? Yeah, they did. Do I think he's also cost himself some money this year? Yeah, I do. I got a lot of love for Xander. Have I been disappointed at times over the last couple of weeks with how he's handled certain things? Yes. Still, if you're trying to act like he's some bum shortstop and not one of the best in baseball, you're out of your mind.
Pete?
I agree with Tyler.
That's it.
Makes a
Do
lot
you
of
have
good
an
points.
issue? Jared, do you have an issue with him getting thrown out of that game?
I thought the home plate umpire was quick with the hook.
Oh, spare me, Jared. He
No,
threw
he
his
was.
friggin'
He
bat.
was. So what? So fucking someone on the Orioles threw their bat literally the next night.
Jorge Mateo, and then he
Stayed in
walked
the
and
game.
picked it up and went to the dugout. Bogaerts
Threw his
turned
bat.
around and went in. Yeah, he
Threw
didn't
his
get Bogaerts didn't get thrown out for throwing his bat. He got thrown out for the ump pointed to the bat and said that's an equipment violation. He didn't throw him out. Then Bogaerts turned around and got himself kicked out.
Do you know what that means though? When they point to the bat,
Yes.
that you get a fine.
Yes, it's a fine. You're not thrown out, and then he continued to argue. So if you want to throw the bat and make a point, throw the bat.
But he did like a one hand gesture, and that was it. That was enough to get him kicked out. I thought it was a pretty quick hook.
It was very quick.
I've seen guys
like Alex Cora. So he throws the bat. There's a side angle where you can see the dugout, and Xander throws his bat, and Cora comes running out, and he gets tossed before Cora can even get there. That's how quick it was.
Yeah.
So, if he said something that you don't like you as an umpire, you know how good Xander Bogaerts is. You know how important to the Red Sox he is. Unless he said "fuck yourself," fuck your kids and fuck your wife, then you toss him. Xander is pretty respectful. He might have said that was a horseshit call, and it was a ball. So have accountability that you fucked up the call and own that. If you want to talk about accountability, you have to give Alex Cora time to at least get there so that he can get in between you, and then he shoves Xander. He goes back to the dugout. There was not enough time for Alex Cora to get from the dugout to that confrontation. We saw it. We saw the side angle. There just wasn't enough time. So, Xander, it's that was the second time in his career, first time since I think August of 2018 that he's been ejected in a major league game. So we're not talking about Bryce Harper here, who he's the MVP of the National League and he gets thrown out 5 times a season. We're talking about a player that's been in the big league since 2013 and has been thrown out now twice. So he's just not a guy that is going to say something that deserves that quick of a hook. If you're going to toss him, it better be after some sort of demonstrative, elongated mental breakdown at home plate, which that was clearly not. He threw his bat. It happens. Mateo threw his bat the next fucking night. He stayed in the game. It doesn't matter if he picked it up after or not.
He didn't sit there and turn around and argue. That's the thing. Mateo, he threw the bat, got angry. He didn't turn around and go at it with him. He threw the bat and then picked it up and walked away.
Pat Light, former major leaguer. Was that a quick hook?
There's two pieces here. So yes, I think it was fairly fast. However, you are under no circumstances, and Major League Baseball makes it very clear you're under no circumstances allowed to argue balls and strikes. So I think it's better for the game of baseball that you allow Alex Cora to come out there and get in between and get Xander, because Xander should be in the game so the fans can watch Xander Bogaerts play the game of baseball. So you shouldn't have that quick of a hook. And I agree with Jared. There's absolutely no way. I know Xander. There's no way he said anything that mean that would make you be like, okay, wow, we're not going to give you time. You sir, you got to keep going. But it was fast. But I wasn't sitting at home being like, oh, I can't believe he got thrown out. I was like, yeah, okay. Well,
if you read Alex Cora's lips, and I don't remember exactly what the phrasing was now. It was a few days ago at this point, but he said something to the effect of, "You got to give me a shot to get out here to protect my guy." Like that was like one of the first things that he said was like, "You got to at least give me a shot to make it out here," and you didn't do that. So obviously Alex gets tossed, and it becomes like a whole fucking thing. They end up rallying. Like they get within a run. What was it? Was it 10-9 at one point or something?
You got it up to 10-9.
10-9. It looked like the game was over. The Red Sox rally. They come back. The big blow. I mean, Cutter Crawford giving up fucking 9 earned runs didn't help you there. Brazier, I think, stunk that night. Who else stunk?
Salmore gave up a blast.
Oh,
and
yeah. Was
Brazier
that like a 3-run shot?
I don't even think it might have been, but Brazier's the one who got really the nail in the coffin. He gave up 5 earned runs.
Yeah. That didn't help.
Well, here's the thing. When you have this team, like this type of offense who's kind of up and down, we don't have a real true middle of the lineup with Xander and JD as they've been in the years past. This is when you need a really solid bullpen. Guys you can rely on, that when we have an opportunity to win a game, we win the game. And this is why this team's not theoretically as positive Paul as I want to be. This is why this team is not theoretically built to be a contender for this year. And it's because we don't have anything. Like every year we go into it and I'm like, all right, our lineup is going to keep us in every ball game. Let's just find games to win here. Let's just try to sneak out wins. This year, I thought the lineup would be better. But we don't really have that dominant thing that we can rely on. Like, you think even in 2020, isn't that shit year? Didn't we like lead the league in runs or something like that? Like
batting average.
Something. Like we always have that one thing. It's been the lineup in the past few years, but like we always have that one thing. It's like, all right, this is going to perform. We just got to figure out the rest. This year, it's been like in April, pitching didn't do it, then hitting wasn't doing it, then pitching again, and now the bullpen, and then it was a combo of all of them in July. Like it's never been like something we're going into this game, we can rely on this. We can't even rely on health. So it's definitely a frustrating season. But to talk about the Xander thing a little bit more, there's definitely something going on. It's uncharacteristic of Xander to do kind of something like that. And I just think there are things behind the scenes that is frustrating the fuck out of him. And whether it's whether it's the contract talks, whether this is kind of at least in my world, kind of the first year where all eyes have kind of been on him. With injuries and guys have been going down, like Xander is the guy. Like there isn't really anyone else. I guess you can kind of say JD, but like he's been slumping, so no one really even talks about him. Like Xander has been the guy everyone's talking about, and then Vasquez left for Houston. So I don't know. I think it's just a combination of a bunch of shit, and he's probably frustrated. Like I get it. Like Aaron Judge isn't
definitely frustrated.
Yeah, Aaron Judge isn't frustrated because he told the Yankees to go fuck themselves, and now he's putting up an MVP season. Oh, all right, suck a dick, everyone. Xander is saying no hometown discount. I'm sure they offered him something. No hometown discount. We're going to go play for this and see I'm worth. And he's not quite producing the way he probably had hoped. And now the team is struggling. It's just a combination of things. And then this guy makes a horse shit call. He's like, you know what? Fuck everyone. I'm going to yell at people.
I mean, he did say after the fact, he was like, that one felt pretty good. I'll be honest with you. He was like, yeah, felt pretty good.
Xander said that?
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's frustration out. Listen, we had a tough series against Baltimore. We got a lot of games left. I don't know what the pitching matchups look like. We'll see that later in the show, but can't imagine they're very good based off. We had most of our good guys go last series, so we're gonna have some fun. I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun.
Is it Tampa Bay or Toronto first?
Toronto.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we're gonna saddle up, partner. We're gonna sweep them. It's gonna be something like that. Something ridiculous.
This is Xander.
Situation. I didn't agree with the pitch. Felt it was a big situation. Felt pretty good during all that bad, and I felt like I could have done something, and even if I didn't do something, just get on base. Now you got Devers, you got to deal with him behind me. So I didn't agree with the call, and that's what happened.
You think it was just like not just the one pitch, but just kind of a pile up of frustration for you?
Oh, yeah. It is. I wouldn't say that factored into it. Who would have known a pitch call would have made me like that? But yeah, I have been very I'm not pleased with the way I've been playing, and I mean, it's definitely frustrating when you hold yourself to a high standard and you feel like you're not helping out. So it's very rough.
Can you recall any other time in your career when you felt this way?
Oh yeah, plenty. And you know what? I've came out of all of them. So the only thing is just now is the time that you're going through it again, and when you come out of it, you look back and you'll probably laugh, and be like, man, I couldn't figure this out quicker. That's the only one thing that you'll always hit your head against the wall and be like, I could have. It was just this, I could have got out of this 3 weeks ago.
So, I mean, there's no mention there of an injury. That obviously the spear thing comes out today. But yeah, there he's kind of just saying like, yeah, like I'm slumping right now and I can't figure out how to fucking fix it. But I mean, it does sound like he's semi-confident that it's something that he can figure out. I mean, he did homer on Sunday. So that was before he homered on Sunday against one of the best relief pitchers in the American League right now. So I'm not saying he's fixed, but it's certainly a nice sign to see Xander hammer a 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the ninth inning of Sunday's loss, which I guess would bring us to John Schreiber. But before we discuss that, college football is back. It's time to enjoy the tradition, the fun, and the great offers from the DraftKings Sportsbook. To celebrate the best time of year, right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets instantly, win or lose. If that's not enough action, you can also place a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. Just combine multiple bets into one, like which team will get the win, which team will score first, and more. Pat, like Monmouth probably sucks. Do they even have a football team?
You're damn right they do.
Do you ever bet on them?
I don't know that you can. I don't know if they're that good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever bet college football? I feel like that's a big season for Green Rock. Okay, who's your team? Do you just you always mix it up, or do you have a favorite team?
No, West Virginia.
West Virginia?
Yeah.
Who's their mascot?
Mountaineers.
Yeah, the Mountaineers. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah. We love the Mountaineers.
Yes, we do.
And we also love the DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared. Bet just $5 on college football and get $200 in free bets instantly. That is promo code Jared, only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for terms and resources. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Tennessee, call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. In New York, call 877-8467-369. One per new customer, minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as 8 $25 free bets. Okay. We've arrived at the John Schreiber discussion, which I feel like, you know what, Red Sox fans, I feel like you've handled this one pretty well, because usually there will be some irrational thinking going on where it's like, told you this guy fucking sucks. Like, he was good in the first. They should have traded him. His value is never going to be higher. They should have fucking traded him because he was a nobody before the season. And he had a great first half, but obviously it wasn't going to last. And he fucking sucks. And Heim Bloom should have traded him. And I told you he was going to suck. I haven't seen a lot of that. And I thought for sure that was coming if Schreiber flamed out in the second half, which is essentially what we're seeing right now. Every single high leverage situation that Schreiber has been available for, he has pitched in. Like, if there wasn't a decision made before the game, like, hey, Schreiber's down today, which is usually what they do. Like, they make those decisions before the game. They'll talk to the pitcher. Either Cora will make the decision without even consulting the pitcher, be like, hey, like, you're down today. Or they will consult the pitcher and say, hey, how are we feeling today? Like, do you think you can give us, 20 pitches, 3 outs, whatever comes first? Yeah, you can. All right. Oh, if you're not feeling up to it. All right. He's down today. So that's essentially, is that more or less, is that the process that you've experienced, Pat?
It's exactly the process. No one ever, unless I guess you're a really big time guy, says no, I can't pitch today. But yeah, they ask you how you feeling and if you can give it a go. Most times, more times than not, they'll just tell you you're down. You don't really have the option, at least as a young guy. So yes, you're right.
So when John Schreiber has been available to pitch on a day that a high leverage situation has presented itself in a Boston Red Sox baseball game, he has pitched in it. And I think we've seen a lot of situations where Schreiber has come into situations with inherited runners. I feel like most of the damage done against Schreiber recently has been with other people's runners on base.
8 of his last 18 inherited runners have scored.
How many of those 18 were just not clean innings that he came out to pitch in? Like, it wasn't like, hey, it's the 8th inning, 1-run lead, get out there. Like, how many times has he come into a game with inherited runners over that span? Do you know?
That is a good question. Let me pull that up.
I bet you it's probably fucking 11 or 12.
He's your fireman. He's the fireman in the bullpen. Put out the fire every single time. And I think you're looking at a situation, and what's frustrated me about this front office is how many times you got to kill someone before you realize what you're doing to yourself. Was watching Matt Barnes take an entire year to get his career back together not enough for you last year? You ran him into the ground in the first half because of this exact problem, because you had to lean on him every single time you had a big close situation. And John Schreiber, I think he's even gone beyond Barnes in some of the high leverage spots because he was pitching to the middle of the lineup every single day. Mm-hmm. Eventually, there's a price you're going to have to pay for that. Do I think Schreiber a little bit? Listen, if you look at a lot of the advanced metrics and stuff, the ERA is high. I think it's like 5-ish in his last 16 appearances. The FIP's below 2. So like it's been some bad luck, obviously coming in with inherited runners and stuff like that. I think Coley brought up a good point on Twitter about, why Cora had Matt Barnes come out for an out. Let Schreiber go with a clean inning if you're going to use him again. He's the kind of guy we've seen succeed in those situations and make life a little bit easier for him so he's not working around stuff. It bit you, but this bullpen, these are the things you're going to pay. It's beyond just losses. It's what damage are you going to do to someone like John Schreiber, who has been one of the best relievers in all of baseball this year. You don't want to break him and have another Matt Barnes situation where you go into next year and one of your big wins of this year immediately becomes one of your biggest concerns again.
Pat, can you explain to the people kind of how that works? Like what happened to Matt Barnes where he was leaned on so heavily? I guess you could say as a closer, but let's just say as a high leverage guy last year in the first half. And then the second year, people want to point to the sticky stuff, whatever. But then obviously something that happened to a guy like John Schreiber this year. What is like how, I guess like physically, but also psychologically, when you are a guy like Matt Barnes was like, yeah, we'll give him the 6th, kind of like what his role is now. Like we'll mix it up. You don't have like a specific role. You don't have a specific inning. Like we'll kind of use you here and there you're now the closer. And then Schreiber, a virtual unknown coming into this year. Oh yeah. You're basically like, you're our number one go-to guy, especially when Garrett Whitlock was in the rotation. Like how does that ask result in what we refer to as burning someone out?
The two, like you said, there's 2 components. One's physical, one's psychological. We'll start with the physical because that's the easiest one to talk about. Anytime it happened to me when I was in Minnesota, anytime you pitch someone a ton, you have to consider that they're going, as far as their arm is concerned, especially a lot of these guys that are just up and coming. Matty Barnes was kind of that guy. This John Schreiber is kind of that guy where they might not have ever done this before. Where it's not even just being the closer role. They haven't thrown 7 out of 12 days. Because there's been high leverage points in the game, and this is the only guy you can rely on. So from a physical standpoint, it wears on you, and you got to come to the field every fucking day ready. You probably can't drink the way you want to do. You can't go out some nights, when you want to, because your body is going to wear out, and you have to give the maximal opportunity to recover. So that's obvious. Any person with half a brain can understand that if you throw a lot, you're going to get...
Did you combine maximum and optimal?
Yep.
Maximal? Hell yeah.
You need, but it's both. You need the max optimal recovery. Can't be just the maximal recovery. The optimal type of recovery.
Maximal recovery.
And optimal. And moving on to the psychological thing is Matt Barnes and Schreiber both in the same situation where you're still trying to figure out if you can be a closer. when someone makes you a closer in the big leagues, and not just a closer, but a closer on the Boston Red Sox, you got to figure out if you can do it. Like, you're not coming into Tampa when you kind of just strolling in there with about 14 other people in the stands. You're coming there. They're usually, and probably not for these guys, but like when Craig Kimbrell came, I remember being with him in spring training, and they were putting together the video effects that they're going to have along with his song. When he comes out of the bullpen, like it's a production. So it's just different in Boston. And when you're going out there and you're pitching well, but you're pitching all the fucking time, you're thinking, sometimes, at least this is what got me out of the game, at least, but sometimes you think, well, I'm trying to figure out if I can do this at this level. And now they're doing it all the time. I'm like, well, yeah, I feel like I'm doing well here, but this has got to come to an end eventually. And then on top of that, you're talking about a shoulder issue. And then when you have that little hiccups where you start struggling a little bit, you start losing some physical, you start losing maybe some velo and stuff like that. This is where the guys like Mariano, this is where the guys like Craig Kimbrell, these are those guys, those studs, they don't care. Like we talk about this team, you hit a bump in the road, this team seems to then go into a full-on somersault downhill and play horribly. Whereas good teams, they bounce right back. Same thing in this situation where you have these guys that you're going to wear, you get worn out, psychologically and physically. You hit bumps in the road. If you're a guy, if you're like the fucking guy, you probably see these guys come back. And sometimes that's not always the case. And maybe John Schreiber in years down the road will be that guy, and he's learning right now how to bounce back from that. I'm not saying that might be the case, but when you get worn out like this, you see a lot of the guys, and if they truly believe in themselves out there. And then all of a sudden that pitch, even from a physical and psychological standpoint, that pitch that's on the black is now 2 inches in. And that's all it fucking takes for these big leaguers to fucking take one out of the ballpark, rather be a ground ball.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Lot to this game, Jared. You know it. Lot to this game.
Lot to it.
Lot to it. Game of inches.
That's why it's the best game in the world. There's the game inside the game inside the game.
Amen, motherfucker. Woo!
Have you and Pete B discussed when you guys are going to launch the Peepee and Paddle show?
The Peepee? Yes, we have discussed it. And we have a date picked and a location. We're going to do it live in a tropical paradise.
Well, I mean, what's the date that we're doing? It's not like a live show. It's more like a watch party.
Yeah, that's September 23rd.
And it's at the Cask?
At the Cask.
Breaking news? Did we talk about this on the air? I can't remember if it was on the air or not.
We discussed it. It wasn't official yet, but we can break it now. Yeah, it's official.
Official. All right. So it's not a live podcast, because who the fuck would want to hear us talk about that team, especially by September 23rd, you said?
Yeah.
So September 23rd is just come hang out with us, drink with Pat.
Yeah, I'm going to be up there. I can't wait for that. That's exciting.
It is a Yankee game.
Yeah, where?
It's Red Sox Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
What locate? Do we have a location, Jake? Did you say that?
The Cask'n Flagon.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great spot. We're gonna have a great time.
It's gonna be a great time. They have excellent steak tips. I usually go there, and every time I go there, I get steak tips, medium rare, mashed potatoes, lobster roll, and baked mac and cheese.
I would love a good lobster rolly.
They got a good one.
We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a really good time. That's gonna be a really fun time.
September 23rd, Cask'n Flagon. Dude, we're not selling tickets, right? You just fucking show up.
Just show up.
Just show up.
Love that.
So I think it would be nice to. I feel like you and Pete can get drunk and just go in the back somewhere and do like a 20-minute pilot episode of the Peepee and Paddle.
I love
show.
this idea. Oh yeah.
I feel like you have to be looking at each other to do it.
Yeah, mandatory.
I'd love to look at Pat.
Yeah.
This is a Friday night, you said?
This is a Friday night.
Okay.
This is a Friday night, September 23rd. Red Sox Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
Are all the members confirmed?
Tyler, are you coming?
I'll be there.
You fucking better be, dude. You fucking
How can I
better
miss
be there.
everybody going out for the podcast?
I mean,
because you missed it the last time that we did this.
Jared. This is why
That was different.
Is it though?
No, it wasn't. What was different about it?
This is a month in advance.
All right. I mean, you fucking better be there. Because if you're not there, I'm shutting it the fuck down. I'm kicking everyone out of the cast.
I will fucking be there. I put it on my life.
Jake?
Of course, we'll be there.
All right. I can always count on Jake. Jake's
It's a great time.
always
What are you
there.
trying to say, Jared?
Always there. I'm trying to say that sometimes you're not fucking there.
Wow.
Yeah. We had the whole... Even Pete was there.
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, I guess sometimes you'll come, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, isn't that how it works for everybody?
No. Jake is always there.
Yeah, well,
Jake's always there.
Jake's always coming because Jake's a stud.
Oh!
Ew.
See?
All right.
Hell yeah, brother.
So on the 23rd, everyone is going to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe even Coley.
I hope Coley's not there. He's too tall. Like Pat and Coley with me in the middle, just like the preposterous image.
They're both like at least 6'6".
Yeah.
It's terrible. How do you think I feel?
Is me and you gotta like invest in a very long trench coat, and we'll just take take turns swapping out the top.
I'll let you go on my shoulders because then like that'll be my leg workout for the year.
Here. Where is Cask'n Flagon? Where what street is it on?
It's literally right across the street from Game On.
Yeah. So it's like the first one right by the bridge.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's at the end of Big Poppy Bridge.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yep.
September
Tyler.
23rd. Bye,
What?
Tyler. Oh, you here? Your video cut out.
I can see you, I can hear you, but now I can see you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good time, Jared. I'm happy we set that up. That's gonna be a lot of fun with friends. I haven't met Tyler yet. It'll be the first time I ever met him
I'm a
Yeah.
really cool person.
because he didn't show up to the live show.
This wasn't a live show.
He didn't show up
No. We did a live podcast in my living room. Everyone was there except for Tyler.
I bought pizza.
He bought pizza.
Mhm.
What else? Did you do cheesy bread or no?
I think I did jalapeno poppers.
Okay, so not cheesy bread. I like cheesy bread.
I like cheesy bread too.
know what?
Jalapeno
I'm gonna see
poppers are tough.
You don't like them?
No, they're tough. Like,
Oh, I love them.
Do you think there's a Papagino's open around here?
Oh, one
Great
hundo
taste.
p.
there's a
Well, I
Papagino's
think
right
so.
down the street from my house. That place, Papagino's, real classic joint.
Fucking your mother's ass. There's a Papagino's in Boston Children's Hospital.
That's nice for them. They deserve it.
All these other Papagino's are. I was going to call them on the air and just put in the order right on the air. Just give out my
Yeah, there's
credit
one in
card.
Waltham.
I mean, there's one in Saugus. Daniel Vogelbach just hit a home run.
It's big.
Beautiful man.
Former teammate.
It's what?
Yeah, I was
With-
teammates with Bogey.
In what organization?
Tacoma Rainiers, the Seattle Mariners. The only time one of the few times I ever made CNN and Fox News was because I was with
Oh,
Daniel
right.
Vogelbach.
The Uber.
Yep, he was sitting shotgun.
Vogelbach was in there?
Oh yeah, sitting
Wait,
shotgun.
what's this story?
I took
Oh,
an
man.
8-hour Uber from Phoenix to Albuquerque.
Oh, to make it to camp or something? Or
No, to make it to a game.
make it to a game?
Yeah,
8 hours
yeah,
in an Uber? What did that end up costing?
$800. Yeah, we had a guy in there though. I forget his name at the time. His name. It's still his name.
This
That's the name
story
at the
is
time,
like
but-
on the internet.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. But yeah,
I know
so-
there was like an NFL player who missed his flight to camp and then ended up taking like a 14-hour Uber overnight to make it to camp to make it to camp on time. If I was an Uber
We've
driver,
heard
what kind of Uber driver is like that desperate?
We've heard of
That's
fans
crazy.
paying hundreds of dollars to get to a baseball game, but that shouldn't happen with players. That was the case Monday as 4 players from the Seattle Mariners AAA affiliate needed to take a 7-hour car ride to their next game. There's a lot going on here, but we'll attempt to explain. But this tweet from Tacoma Rainiers infielder DJ Peterson helps quite a bit. It looks like Peterson shared a photo from reliever Mark Lowe's Instagram page. Those two, along with Daniel Vogelbach and Pat Light, all crammed into an Uber for a 7-hour trip from Phoenix to Albuquerque that cost them $683.52. It looks like they were set to fly, but something happened with their reservation. We don't know all the details here, but given the drastic measures, it seems a different flight was not an option if they wanted to make Monday's game. Somehow they found an Uber driver willing to take them that far. Based on Lowe's picture, he earned himself a 5-star rating for the deed. First off, let us marvel at both the cost and the length of that Uber trip. You don't see that often. Honestly, we're impressed. Second, we realize these are professional baseball players and the money isn't a huge issue for them. But it's whatever.
It's definitely reimbursed by the team, correct?
Yeah.
Nope.
No?
Whoa.
What?
The story. Tell you why it's the story.
The only person who made it out well here appears to be Hemant. His name Hemant. That's his name, the driver.
Yeah.
Factoring in his ride back to Phoenix, he made about $49 per hour for the trip. The drive home may have been lonely, but at least he has an entertaining story to tell.
I mean, I'm more interested in hearing from the driver than I am from Pat about any of this, because I just need to know what kind of like desperation or just like any sort of ambivalence that you have to accept a 7-hour Uber drive. And that can't really be that profitable if you have to drive all the way back.
I mean, that guy probably just like hates his wife, but I think if what's factored into the price is the cost of the ride back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
You get paid for that. Yeah.
You have to pay for both ways.
Did you tip Pat?
I didn't pay. Mark Lowe paid. He had like 9 years in the big leagues, so he paid for everything.
When
Very
Pat
awesome.
tips, he tips.
Yeah,
So why didn't the team cover it?
Okay, so that is in the what's that league called out there, guys? What's the AAA league out west?
Pacific League?
No, Pacific Coast League. Yes, the PCL. It's a lot of really early morning flights. They're all over the place. It's not like the International League is all bus pretty much. So oftentimes guys with time and guys who have some money and making a little bit of money, they'll have a Sunday day game, and then they won't leave that time in normal travel because they don't want to pay for the hotel. So you'll sleep at home and wake up at 3 a.m. for a flight. Guys who have money and some time will fly out that night and meet the team, so they don't have to worry about the travel. I did it multiple times. This was the last time I did because we almost got fucking, it almost didn't work out. But we flew out so it's all on your dime if you do that. You have a flight, you have everything from the team. If you choose not to take it and do your own thing, so be it. And so that's why nothing was covered. So we bought tickets out there. We got delayed in air, and they canceled they didn't cancel. The flight took off. Our connecting flight took off without us. And there was a fucking another option. We just didn't take it. This is the time I also asked Scott Bogaerts for a private jet.
And he just didn't get back to you. It wasn't a no. He just didn't see it in time.
Yeah. I got a text the next morning it wasn't from Scott. It was from the guy that obviously my rep. And he was like, "Hey, Scott called me and showed me your message. Is everything okay?" And I said, yes.
Scott's a great guy.
Really good guy. Really good guy.
One of the best.
Leading the Xander Bogaerts discussion. So
right.
He's a good hands.
And AG1 is one of the best sponsors that we have because it's something that I actually use every day. And I can speak to that.
Same, brother.
I started taking AG1 because I want a better gut health and more energy. And now I've been on for a few weeks and I feel great. People always ask me, like, what is it? What is AG1, Jared? I'm like, well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. And the reason why I love it is because I'm really busy. I do 4 podcasts a week, the stream, live tweet every game. We travel a lot. It's a lot. It's tiring. But waking up and taking my AG1 gives me the energy that I need to do all these shows and have a high energy every single time to try to be entertaining and on my A game every single day. Pat, you're always on your A game.
Always.
Always. It's got all my vitamins and minerals that I need in one easy scoop, one serving. And now that I'm on the road more, I have the to-go 2-packs for me and my early wake-up calls. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health and It's cheaper than your cold brew habit, supports better sleep quality and recovery. And right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. There's no need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And by the way, I will say this. I even went on Amazon and got one of those, like, you ever see that on TikTok where you like stick it in the glass and it like stirs it for you? You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I got one of those just for AG1. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Red Sox. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/Red Sox to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Anyways, no Clark's Ketchup Series MVP. Red Sox lost the series. Were there any other takeaways from that series other than the Bogaerts ejection, Schreiber getting run into the ground, and the fact that Sunday was a very big game and they fucking lost?
No.
I'd say that Alex Verdugo and Christian Arroyo continue to carry the lineup. And I think both guys that have got a lot of doubt this year, especially earlier in the year, both guys who had a lot of bad luck. If you looked at a lot of the batted, ball data and different stuff like that, both of the guys have showed up. Verdugo has over a 900 OPS in August. Arroyo's over 800. And I think with Christian Arroyo, a lot of people turn that argument into, well, they should have never signed Trevor Story if Christian Arroyo is this good. We know he hasn't been healthy throughout his career, but he's played almost 120 games now for the Red Sox. It's an above league average bat with good defense. I think he deserves a role on this team going forward. Probably something of an everyday role because it seemed like the utility role didn't fit him super well. But, there's only so many spots open on this team. Could he be a trade candidate this offseason? Maybe. But I think Christian Arroyo deserves some more love.
What if? It's not something that I'm advocating for.
You're going to say it. Yeah. Say it. Just say it. I know it. Yep. Just say it.
This is not something that I'm advocating for. This is me looking into my crystal ball. Okay? I'm just looking into my crystal ball and I'm seeing something. I don't know if this is the plan. I'm just saying that this scenario does not have a 0% chance of happening. It's not 0. I'm not saying it's more than 1%, but it's not 0. What if Tyler Milliken? What if Christian Arroyo is your full-time everyday shortstop next year?
Or would it be Trevor Story at shortstop and Arroyo at second?
Nope. I think it would be Trevor Story at second. And I think it would be Arroyo at short. And I think Aaron Judge is your right fielder.
Yeah, if that happened, that would need to be the route. Like, if you don't sign Bogaerts, then you need to ship that contract somewhere. Maybe it's a pitcher. Maybe who you replace Evaldi with is, a close to $200 million pitcher, and you say, hey, we're going to find someone to stabilize this rotation. Sure. Would you have the conversation? Would you think about it? I would. Am I saying you should do that? No, I don't think you should. Because at the end of the day, can you depend on Trevor Story? Had a really rough, below average, offensive season here. Leaning on that and taking Xander Bogaerts' bat out of the equation is definitely challenging. As much as I like Christian Arroyo, he's played 120 games in 2 years. If he goes down with another injury and it's similar to really what's been the problem throughout his entire career, I think you're putting yourself in a really bad spot. You're taking a huge leadership voice out of there, which also goes into that equation. And like you said, something that doesn't get talked about with Bogaerts enough, he's there every day. Healthy or not, he's going to post. And that's a big deal, I think, for this Red Sox team, especially in a year with all these injuries, to have someone you can depend on regularly who doesn't have health concerns, or at least plays through them when they do have them. You have all the resources to pay Xander here. If you go that route, man, you better stalk this team everywhere else. I don't want to see a damn hole, but still, that's not the route I'd go. But I agree with you. It's a non-0% chance.
Pete, what does that make you feel inside?
Sad. I mean, I don't want to see Xander go. I mean, Christian Arroyo, really great player, but I'm not sure I want him to be everyday shortstop.
I don't think he could handle that either, by the way. I think he'd be the second baseman.
He could. No, he wouldn't be. Pat?
In this scenario, I would be less than pleased with what is happening in Boston. I mean, to be quite frank, can I be frank with everyone for a second? I can be. Thank you.
Please.
To be quite frank, it has been a little frustrating as a Red Sox fan. I'm sure all of us feel on this podcast over the past, let's say, when did Mookie Betts leave? What year was that?
2020. Going into 2020.
Going into 2020. So for the last 2 years or so, 3 years, it's been a little frustrating being a Red Sox fan. You know, the whole point of building the farm is to build from within, get some cheap stuff, and then sign your hometown guys and not be able to have to worry about all this stuff. Instead, we build from within, and then we say, hey, now that you're really, really good, go help someone else. And that is a frustrating thing that happens. So, losing Mookie, I thought having Mookie, Xander, and Devers, I don't know financially if that was a conceivable thing that we could have kept them all. I don't really know that. I don't look at the luxury tax. That's more of a Tyler and Jared thing than it is mine. But, we have 3 really fucking good guys from our team, and there's a chance that 2 out of 3 are gone at the end of this year, and that's frustrating to me. And I'd like to have them all 3 of them here.
I don't think Xander Bogaerts' contract is going to be that much different than Trevor Story's. I really don't at this point. I think Bogaerts is looking at 6 years, maybe 5 if it's a little higher AAV, but I think if he goes 6 or 7, I think you can get him between 25 to 27. And I think,
do you do that?
I would. If you can get him at 25 over 7, I consider it. I'd be willing to go higher AAV for less years. I'd be willing to do
28 for 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do 30, but I think that's where I look at the Red Sox right now and I say, hey, you've done all these things to get the financial flexibility you want. If it means keeping your clubhouse intact in terms of having a leader in there and someone who's improved defensively and shown he can hang at the position a little bit more, I'm willing to bend a little bit in those directions. That's not the same as handing out $200-$300 contracts. Xander Bogaerts isn't going to break your books. He's not. Rafael Devers will break your books, and he deserves to break your books. But Xander Bogaerts, he's not going to probably get 200. It's going to be somewhere. Maybe a team goes wild and is willing to go that route. But no one's looking to sign Xander Bogaerts to a 10-year deal right now. He's looking at more like a Trevor Story contract. And if that's 6/140 or it turns into a little bit more one way or the other, that's fine. He deserves to make more money than Trevor Story. It's just, what has all the work been to get to this point if you're not going to pay Xander Bogaerts? Yes, you've got to the spot where you never have to worry and you should be able to pay Devers and not have to think about it and not have to move on like you did Mookie Betts. But Bogaerts isn't a deal that's going to kill you. For the Red Sox to be in a good spot with money coming off their books, I can't find an excuse for them. And that's why if they didn't go that route, they'd have to pay somebody else. And if you're telling me they're going to, Judge would be close to a $300 or $300 million deal. I don't think that's going to happen. But if they end up spending on another 30-ish year old veteran that's not Bogaerts because they missed out on him, it's such a bad look. And I think you're following right down the same steps you did with Hanley and Pablo. I think it'd just be another remix of that.
I think all I'm saying is if you're a Red Sox fan who's like, boo, Aaron Judge, he's a Yankee, boo, just be prepared for the Red Sox to be in on Aaron Judge this offseason. Just prepare for the Red Sox to be linked to Aaron Judge this offseason. I'm not saying he's going to end up here. I'm not rooting for that. I'm not guaranteeing that. Just prepare for the Red Sox to be a player in the Aaron Judge sweepstakes. That's all. That's all. I still want Xander back. I mean, I feel like you're kind of fucked with Rafi if you don't get an extension done before opening day. Before he gets to spring training. I feel like by the time you show up for pitchers and catchers, you're kind of I mean, how many of those deals get done in between pitchers and catchers reporting and opening day? Unless you're the fucking Braves, you can just extend whoever you want whenever you want. But most other teams, you're not afforded that luxury. So, but yeah, that's all. Is just prepare for that scenario because it exists and it could be a thing. Could be a thing. But we'll see. We'll see. Kind of like during this live show that we're going to be having, kind of like we'll see Pat Light just absolutely crushing blue moons. How many blue moons are you going to put down at that live show, Pat?
How long is the live show?
Its first pitch is going to be at 7:00, and then you got until last call, like what, 1:30?
Oh. Well, if it's 7 to 1:30, I'd say blue moons, maybe 40, 50. 40 or 50 of them. Yeah. An easy night.
It's just a laid back night for Pat.
Actually,
because baseball and beer go hand in hand. And Blue Moon is the perfect stadium companion with its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, iconic orange slice ritual, and authentic ballpark roots. In fact, Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first created at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. From the first pitch to extra innings, a Blue Moon guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience every single time. Pat Light's going to be drinking Blue Moons. Pete, how many Blue Moons are you going to put down at that live show?
A substantial amount.
Blue Moon out of a glass or Blue Moon out of a bottle?
Glass.
Because
I'm like
you have to go
mostly glass.
You have to go with the Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander. Blue Moon Belgian White is one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one-of-a-kind? Best served with a signature orange garnish. Pete's going to have one. Pat's going to have one. Tyler, you going to have one?
I'm going to have a few.
Tyler's not going to be there.
I know Jake's going to have some. Jake's probably drinking one right now. Is Jake not there?
No, I'm here.
Okay, I just making sure.
I'll have one during the game and I'll have like 20 after the game.
Right. Because he's got to stay focused during the show to make sure that it's not a show. Just whatever we're doing. We're just going to be mingling.
September 23rd?
September 23rd. Cask'n Flagon.
It's in my calendar.
Let's just say it better be.
Just watch.
Best served with a signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once on a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Break out of your same old beer slump. Blue Moon Belgian White is one of a kind every single time. Get Blue Moon Belgian White delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale. What else we got here? Anything?
Not really. Disappointing series.
Disappointing series. We got the Blue Jays coming up.
Evaldi, dead.
Evaldi's dead.
Live
Didn't
show.
they say, is he officially on the IL? No.
They're going to place him. That was the report that came out today. It's just, I have seen this way too many times with the Red Sox. I will never believe a single medical update from them again. This year has been every single situation. Every single one. Oh, we're going to skip him, or he's going to need a couple days. Yeah, a couple days goes by. Oh, we're going to have to push it a little bit back, and then it's an IL stint. Over.
And then I saw who's starting on Tuesday.
Yes, Mr. Josh Winkowski. Doesn't that get you
More
going?
like Josh Luzkowski.
Ooh, got his ass.
Do you get that?
Can you explain it?
Like he fucking loses all the time.
So you replaced
get
that
that?
with the win?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like Josh Luzkowski.
He's never going
Thanks,
to recover
pal.
from that.
That was a pity. That was a very pitiful laugh over there, Pat. You're a good
Thanks,
guy.
Pat.
Here for Jared. Here for the show.
Thank you.
162 guy.
162.
Big 162 guy.
On the 17th, which was last Wednesday, we're recording this on Monday, Nathan Eovaldi said, quote, "I feel like I could pitch tomorrow, but we're playing it safe."
Sounds almost like the last time where he said he was fine to pitch as well, and then he missed an entire month.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, yes, I say Xander Bogaerts, I think, has cost himself a little bit of money this year. Nate Eovaldi has cost himself a significant portion of money. Part of it hasn't been his fault, but even when he's been healthy, he hasn't been Nate Eovaldi last year. And I do think the more time he spends injured / out / underperforming is the more likely chance he'll be back with the Red Sox next year. And I don't know what that says about the Red Sox, but I think they're going to end up getting him here on a cheap 2 or 3 year deal, and he's going to end up sticking around.
Sure. I mean, I think if we're going to talk about Xander trying to battle through injury, I think Eovaldi deserves the same credit. I mean, I don't think he's been right since he went on the injured list the first time.
Pumping 94, 95. It's just not Nate.
Like his average fastball velocity has dropped 2 to 3 miles per hour since he went on the first time. What month was that?
June. It was right around that Angel series, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think he's been right since then. But yeah, I mean, like that was, again, the major concern with Eovaldi going into last year. It was like, oh man, like how the hell are the Red Sox going to make the playoffs? Like you're going to need like Garrett Richards and fucking Nathan Eovaldi. Like, are they going to give you 55 starts combined? And they did.
People forget the Rougned Odor Nate Eovaldi salary dump trade talk that was a couple years back when people were floating that heavily. But yeah, I think with Nate, he's battled. We've seen him battle. He's not alone. Rafael Devers, I don't know what the hell he's broken. He looks.
I think he's hurt too.
Oh yeah, he can't run. He's limping around the bases. You got Bogaerts hurt. JD's obviously whatever is going on with him between decline and his back's bothered him throughout this year. His whole team banged up. Tommy Pham came out of the game on Friday, not willing to go on the IL, which tough dude. Not very good left fielder, but tough dude. He can hit. Eric Hosmer coming out in the second game with a back problem. Team dropping like flies.
They're going to be calling Pat Light soon.
I'll take it.
It would have great viewership.
I think they would have huge. The numbers would be through the roof.
Through the roof. I ran out there.
Honestly, like that's, that's true, right?
Yeah, no, it would be quite the spectacle. People would want to tune into that. Like, who knows? We either getting a guy who secretly still has 100 in the tank, or this is going to be one of the worst performances we've ever seen to date.
Do you think there's a universe, Pat, where you can be like Daniel Bard?
The answer to that question is yes, Pat.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. I have no interest. I tweeted something the other day. Like, my whole life, I want to be a baseball player. And then now, like, you have to pay me so much fucking money to go back to baseball. Like, fuck that. This life is way better than anything I ever did when I was playing baseball.
Oh, yeah, you're making $20 million a year.
Yeah, $20 million plus. Like, I don't have much stress. Like, I didn't, you pitch well, you feel great. Then you're doing great. And the next morning, you're having a cup of Joe. You're like, yeah, I did pretty fucking good. But okay, well, I got to do it again tonight. Fuck. If
you're not getting booed in the bar restaurant.
No. And if people don't like you throw them out of the place. Like when Jared came and someone put a phone in his face. We didn't have to throw the guy out because Jared took his phone and threw it across the room. But
I slapped it across
the room. But yeah, listen, it's my world. Everyone's just living in it.
Tyler's face.
I respect it. That's being about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know you were like that, Jared.
I don't I don't like.
You got to be provoked.
Literally the last episode or the episode that we did after the first pitch when I was like, I don't like when all the attention is on me. This dude, first of all, I was with very lovely girl that that was out there in Vegas that Pat saw. Very lovely girl.
Very lovely.
Sounds it.
And we were sitting in the corner of Green Rock, and like she at the time, like we were still like, this was like years ago. Like we were still like getting to know each other. So she didn't know like real life Jared versus like character Jared. And there was like this Yankee fan that was chirping at me, and I was giving it back to him because I was like, all right, like I'll give you what you're asking me for. She thought that it was like a real confrontation. And I was like, no, I was like, I'm fucking around. I think he's fucking around, but I'm definitely fucking around. Like, I'm not actually angry about this situation. And then he like took out his phone and started like videoing me with the flash on. So like the light was like in my face, and he was like right up in my face with the phone. And like she was uncomfortable. So I just fucking smacked his phone and went flying like across the bar. And then they picked up his phone and gave it to him, but they kicked him out after that.
I think that's fair.
Very fair. We're a very fair organization over here.
Listen,
do you remember?
Don't do that.
And we won't say names on air, but I just remembered this. Jared, do you remember the near disaster we had that evening?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it still ended up being a disaster.
Yes, it did, but like that was almost like disaster ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been
Pat, I need to talk to you real quick.
Yeah, that could have been way worse than what it ended up being.
Way worse.
Yeah, it was kind of like instead of like a proximity mine, it was like a timed mine.
Mm-hmm.
It went off later, but at the time,
yeah. The location was being moved.
Yeah, we were crisis averted for the most part.
Yeah, I was out of the crisis. My involvement was.
I was out of the crisis. Yeah. Good times at Green Rock. Hey, listen, we have fun there.
We do.
Shout out to Green Rock.
Shout out to Green Rock. Great place.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. That was that. And then for you guys want to know how Jared acts in a bar. He doesn't want people in his face. So Jared decided that he was going to stand on top of my benches so no one could get to him and just people watch.
I like that.
He just did that for like an hour and a half. And it seemed like he's really enjoying himself.
I loved it. And the thing is, that's what I love so much about Baseball Tavern is they would put us in an area where, like, if I wanted to go out into the shit, I could do that. But I could also be in an area where, like, no one can, like, get to me. I just like to be out. I like to enjoy myself. If I want to go, like, mingle and do all that shit, I can do that. But I want the option, at least, to have my space. And
just sit on your phone and scroll Twitter.
That's literally what I do.
I know.
I'll be like I know. Like,
I've been out with you before. I'm aware.
I'll just be firing off some tweets. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with tweeting at the bar. I feel like it's like one of those things. Oh, you can't get no bitches. Which man can't get bitches? It's like, no, dude. I just want to tweet highlights. I prefer that. like you know how many times it'll be like we'll go out and like we went to like last off season. I went to a bar with like some of my friends in Selfie, and there was this girl there, and she walks up with her friend. Like one of my friends is talking to her friend, and she starts talking to me, and I'm like enjoying the conversation or whatever. And then she like puts her number in my phone, like this and that, like great. And then it's like last call, and I was like, all right, let's fucking go. And then they're like, wait, you're not gonna like invite us back? And I was like, no offense, but like I kind of just want to like pack a lip and go to bed. Like I don't like, I'm at that point in my life where I don't fucking care. And it's funny because like that happened in, I don't know, January, February, and she texted me. I didn't respond. She texted me like recently out of the blue, which is wild for someone that you met once at a bar and never. She texted me Sunday, August 14th, 1:16 a.m.
Oh my.
Out of the blue. So you're just going to be single forever? What a fucking wild thing to text someone that you met one time at a bar and like that was it. We've never hung out alone. Like that was it. But
that's a choice.
If I were to respond, I'd be like, yeah, probably. But
She seems like she put herself out there.
she did. Nice girl. I'm not saying she's not a nice girl. She's a nice girl, but like, that is me in a nutshell. And I feel like Pat knows this. Pete knows this. Jake, I've been out with Jake a few times. Like, I'll just go to the bar, hang out, and I'll just fucking Irish goodbye. Like, that's what I do. I just leave. I guess that's just me. I just disappear into the shadows because I just want to go home, be alone, and pack a lip and either watch a West Coast baseball game or watch a fucking shitty horror movie and then go to bed. Jerk off and go to bed.
Yeah, got it. That last part.
Yeah.
You know, it's always not. I don't want to turn this into a sex podcast, but
well, there's nothing. I would rather have this discussion than talk about. The Red Sox,
but like
really.
there is, and we are all gentlemen here. We can all discuss this. Sometimes you're horny. You're like, I want to go out and get some girls. You're texting girls like, come over to my place. All this stuff, right? Let's have this fun. And then nothing's really kind of panning out for you, right? And you decide, you know what? I'm just gonna rub one out real quick. And you finish, and you're like, God, I'm so happy no one's here right now. I can just go to bed.
Yeah.
It's like, because you do it, you go through the move. It's just like cheating on a spouse or girlfriend. I've never done that personally. I don't know anyone that I would never do such a thing. But I would imagine it's like, this is great. This is so hot. I love every second of this. And you finish like, wow, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And now you have to sit there.
I think, post nut clarity or not, I'm always glad when nobody else is there.
Oh,
yeah.
Like,
it's a dream.
Even if I'm horny, I'm usually like, I'm so glad that I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
I just wish this is going to sound bad, but I just wish the moment I finished, it was like, boom, you're gone.
That's just like, I just wish that I could just pay somebody to leave after I have sex with them.
What a great
Yeah,
system
if only
that
there
would
were a
be,
service like
Yeah.
that.
If only there was a service, which leads us to our next advertisement.
Yeah.
Today's episode brought to you by Backpages.
It's like, pretty sure you're describing a prostitute, Patrick.
No, I'd pay them to leave. I wouldn't pay.
That's what
That's
prostitution
literally
is. It's you
that's
don't
like
pay them for the
that's
sex,
like the
you pay them
saying.
to leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm paying them to leave. Get the fuck out of my apartment.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. It's just great. I love it. I'm old too now, guys. Just like Pete, how old are you? You're my age, right?
31.
Yeah, 31. Tyler and Jake are still young, and so they
I
probably.
can't believe I'm the fucking oldest guy on this show. That's crazy.
It's wild.
Crazy.
So Tyler and Jake still have that young spunk in them.
I lost it a long time ago. I'll be honest with you.
That's
Yeah.
I just want the iPad after I bust a nut. That's all I want.
Yeah, he just wants to fucking hop on Baseball Savant. He's like, that post nut clarity. Let me go see
He wants
the
to know
fucking
the exit velocity of his ejaculation.
Yeah. He's like,
Weighted runs plus.
Tyler's like post sex cigarette is Baseball Savant on an iPad.
That's it.
He's just like, I just really need to come down with this fucking this player page on Alex Verdugo.
Those
right now.
red
Jesus
circles are
Christ.
better than any nut I've ever busted in my entire
Yeah.
life. I promise you that.
Yeah, trust me. Preach, brother.
Yeah.
Preach in the choir.
This is
I'm happy.
great. See, I enjoyed that conversation. We should talk more about sex
Yeah, we should.
and how we prefer not to do it or the person to leave immediately upon us finishing.
Yeah, I like the big takeaway for our sex conversation was it's way better when it's just us. Nobody else is there.
I've successfully gotten to the age where, like, I remember didn't happen to me, happened to a buddy, but like where this girl apparently tried to start like jerking like one of my buddies off, and this is unbelievable. This is what we're talking about. But he started doing that, and like I'm thinking in my head, I like let him tell the story, but like in my head, if a girl ever tried to do that to me, I'd be like, listen, ma'am, you don't understand just how much practice I've had at this. I'm gonna do way better.
Way better.
Way better. It's
Way
gonna happen
better.
like that.
Yeah, you should just give her the.
Yep. Just,
we're subbing you off
Yep,
for the
just
righty.
Listen, we're gonna just. I'm not gonna say that because that's really we can't say. We have nice young ladies that listen to the podcast, but
A lot of nice young ladies.
So-
However, that doesn't mean that we can't express our feelings that we like to be alone.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols just hit another home
Let's
run. Jesus
go.
Christ.
7 away.
Oh man, he's like legitimately on fire.
Yeah.
Best story in baseball.
I hope he's on every undetectable steroid. Like you're at the end, but put it this way. I had this thought. Hold on. Albert Pujols is 7.
He was like out of the league 2 years ago, essentially. Right? Like the Dodgers thing was like, oh man, I can't believe this is happening. This is like how desperate Pujols is to keep his career alive.
So I was thinking about this after the Tatis thing, where like if Albert Pujols tested positive today, he's still going to get into the Hall of Fame because it's like, yeah, all right, it was at the end. Like you're just trying to put on a show for the fans at the end and, you know, like whatever. It's like, it's literally your last couple of months and you're just trying to stay on the field. But if like, because it was Tatis was at the beginning and then he goes on to have a Hall of Fame career, then it's like people will be like, well, I mean, what was he doing the entire time? Like blah, blah, blah. So you can have one positive test, but does it, I guess, does it matter where in your career you have it?
I think it does, sort of, because like
if Pujols tested positive tomorrow, is he still a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I think it's going to get called into question because people are going to be like, well, when did he start? And
How many times could he mask it? And I think as much as I like Pujols, there are people who believe for a multitude of reasons that, you know, did something shady happen with him earlier in his career? You know, how the whole Angels deal played out and the age conversation. There's always been some weird things attached. I think people would just try to play on top of that.
the age conversation is really funny now looking back on it, because like when he was mid 20s, people were like, oh, he's definitely way older. Like he's definitely like fucked with his birth certificate. And now he's like 40, 42 or whatever. And he's still 50. Raking. And so it's like, if he is actually older, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't buy any of that, but that's just like the stuff.
I mean, I feel like that always happens. Yeah. Like,
isn't he like slipped up one time? I forget, like Dallas knows the story, but like he like slipped up one time and admitted that he's actually 3 years older than his birth certificate. So he's 45.
Which some people would say explains the Angels contract and why he was like washed, so quickly during it.
Yeah. Like he could get to 700 by the end of this fucking week. That's 8 home runs in the second half.
He's going to pass A-Rod. I think that's the craziest thing. So to move ahead of someone who has this significant steroid, legacy attached to him, Pujols moving past him, especially if he gets to 700, it's almost
3 more to tie.
Huh?
3 more to tie.
Yeah, exactly. 696. Like if he gets past that, or if he gets to 700, and I think your generation gets it, Jared, but I think even my generation and younger don't understand how great Albert Pujols actually is and was. But that's a ridiculous achievement for someone who doesn't have a positive steroid test or anything like that in his career. That's
his swing is outrageous. It's so good.
One of the greatest baseball players ever. Like ever.
And he's just like modified it too. Like it's not what it was when he was like winning MVPs in the mid 2000s. He has definitely modified it, but it still has like the same. Like his legs he like loads differently but his hands are still the same and his finish is still the same. But
it's still it's so like compact. Like there's like no fat on that swing whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think it's just even crazier considering after the Angels basically told him to fuck off that everyone said he should retire. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to see him.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Dodgers thing was like, oh man, this is fucking weird. And like, it's kind of like it has a little desperation to it.
It was depressing. It felt like someone just trying to hold on.
Yeah. And I mean, that's sort of what it felt like when he went back to the Cardinals too. It was just like, okay, like nice little story, but like, how long are we going to drag this out for? And now it becomes very, very cool.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best stories in all of baseball, and watching him chase that, I don't think there's anything more interesting besides, don't get me wrong, the teams and stuff like that, but you're talking about true legacy. Like this is the kind of stuff you'll talk about forever. If he finds a way to get to 700 at his age, like
with where he was this year in the first half,
like his
OPS in the second half is like 1,500.
He's up to a 146 OPS plus on the year. He's 42 years old.
Also, that home run that he just hit, that ball was like a foot out of the zone.
Yeah.
It was like
he's
it was like
not
at
even
his fucking chin, and he knocked it.
Like I saw people being like, "Oh, people are throwing him dick balls, so he gets a 700." Like that pitch that he just hit for 693 was a foot above the strike zone.
It was literally like at his mouth.
Yeah, it was just like, fuck you, bang. I mean, it wasn't like it was 93. It was slop, but I mean, he still barreled it.
Any lefty he'll take to the fucking moon right now.
Yeah, who cares? Get him up there. I can't believe what he's doing.
I think it's just cool to see people get in. Like the minute those tweets go up, it immediately takes over baseball Twitter for the rest of the entire day right now.
Yeah. People love the Pujols content right now.
It's just because you don't get to, I think it's almost a little Tom Brady-esque where you realize like these players going back to even, you guys when you were young, like these guys have been playing since I was in diapers. Like you won't get this experience ever again. This is the end of it.
How was the call?
Let me hear.
Oh, hold on. Let me see. Better be a good call.
Somewhat shallow for Albert. The 1-2. And Pujols hits it out to deep left. At the wall! Gone! 693! 693 home runs. A historic home run.
They're in Chicago.
Yeah, the Cubs fans a coward for not throwing that back.
Cubs fans are standing up and clapping here too.
First all time. Also,
you gotta throw that back.
Yeah, those are not like Cardinal fans that are traveling. Those are Cubs fans being like, fuck yeah, like we suck. We're here for history, dude. We're here for Albert. Cubs fans are great like that. Good for them. Oh man, I hope he gets it.
That ball was at his chin.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was like at his face. It was hilarious.
I love Albert.
Do you think he actually gets to 700?
I mean, he literally is on pace to get there by like it's August 22nd, like September 15th.
Has he already announced like he is he done after this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he said if he's at
coming
699, he said I'm not coming back.
He's coming back.
He's not.
I mean, if he finishes like this, why wouldn't he?
Because he's 100.
Yeah, play 2 more seasons though and become the all-time home run leader.
I mean, he's hitting 273 with.
But that's largely because of what he's done over the last month.
But that's what I'm saying.
Last 20 games.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if he finishes like this, would he change his mind?
I think so. Here's the problem with that is, I think the Cardinals obviously love what he's doing right now, but what he was doing in the first half, a lot of teams don't have a roster spot for that. And St. Louis is obviously where he wants to finish. I think it would be storybook to retire there after everything.
Here's a question. Here's a question. If Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron and Barry Bonds didn't exist, and the home run leader was still Babe Ruth at 714, what's the conversation?
Got to keep going.
Yeah, like there's no way, right? Like there's no way that you retired, right?
And there's no every team has.
I think he only comes back if it's St. Louis. If St. Louis is not interested, I think he still retires.
That's fair, but like you're talking about St. Louis not wanting to use a roster spot, but from a business perspective, him on that chase puts asses in seats every single night. That is worth using the roster spot, even if he's not performing every single night.
Roster spot is being used immediately upon Albert Pujols if he wants it. If that's 700 and the home run and Babe Ruth is the leader, it's used.
I'll be honest. I think that Pujols chasing Babe Ruth, even with Aaron and Bonds ahead of him, still
a big deal. Still a huge deal, especially because he's never been popped for roids. Like, still, I mean, anybody passing Babe Ruth is a fucking huge deal.
I will say, I make fun of my own career a lot. Even though he's 1-for-1 with a double off me, it would still be pretty cool to be able to say I faced someone who hit 700 plus home runs.
I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to say that like you face somebody who had more home runs than fucking Babe Ruth. Like that'd be unbelievable.
That'd be unbelievable.
I mean, regardless, it's still going to be cool.
Yes.
To say I faced Albert Pujols.
Yes.
Yeah,
but the 700 club is
fucking smashed a double off me.
The 700 club is so exclusive, though.
Yeah,
like it's
I'm saying it right now. If he finishes with 699, there's no chance he retires.
No, you hit the
People said that
700
about A-Rod, though. A-Rod got to 696.
But he got popped.
And they were
like, and
people
so people are
before.
going to invalidate.
It doesn't matter. Like A-Rod could have gotten, if the Yankees really didn't want him back, the Marlins were like, sure. You know how many teams would have like been like, yeah, here's a fucking contract to chase 700 for our team. Like he could have kept going and he didn't because and I asked him, we did the fucking interview at his house and I said, that moment I think was day one of you beginning to
win people back,
like rebuild your reputation and like start over, like your PR, I guess, journey. Was when you decided to retire a Yankee because that meant more to you than 700 home runs, and you were right there. You were 4 away.
Mm-hmm. He also
like
hit
he could have just
200 in his last year. Like,
yeah.
he
But
was
you don't
bad,
think if he got a 1-year deal with the Marlins that he couldn't hit 4 home runs?
No, he definitely could, but like,
yeah.
But like, I wonder how much, I don't know like what he said to you or whatever, but I wonder how much of it was the lasting memory of A-Rod just being like a total fucking useless piece of shit on the Marlins chasing the record and trying to get 700 rather than like, I didn't remember that A-Rod was that bad in the final couple of years with the Yankees.
Yeah, I forgot.
So bad. Well, that's when like the hip was going and he was like a fucking elderly grandfather at that point.
I think the other thing with Pujols too is like Yachty and Wainwright, especially Yachty, he's done for. He's basically retired and just hanging out with the team at this point. He just took off a couple days to go hang out with his basketball team.
Can he even move? Like,
no, he can't. Like, legit, his knees are gone.
I feel like Yachty has not been able to move for like the last 6 years.
No, he got by until really the last couple of years, but like, that's it. I think he's looking for that. Just they're all going to kind of go out together, and I think that's the right way. Considering where the Cardinals are, obviously you got Arenado and Goldschmidt, who are just freak beyond freaks. But I don't know. It feels like it's all set up for this kind of storybook ending. Will it be a World Series? Who knows? But just to all go out on a high note like that with the Cardinals, I think that's I think that means more to him than even the home run stuff means to him.
Definitely. Definitely. I think at the end of the day, like he obviously wishes he never left St. Louis. He has 6 home runs in his last 7 games. Yeah. Even if he doesn't get to 700, like I still think that we'll look back on it and be like, yeah, but he really put his ass in gear to at least make an attempt to get there. He got close enough. If you get now, he's in the territory of 693 with a month and a half to go, or a month and change to go. Like, it's 700 home runs. Like 693 is 700 to me.
I look at this and it sounds awful, but it's like when someone's dying and they have like one last really good day, and then they're like, they're going to die. Like, that's what I consider this for Albert Pujols. Like, he has not been very good for quite some time, but we're seeing whatever he has left in him is all emptying out. We're going to get to see, it's never going to be vintage Pujols, but it's something in the realm of dominance. And this is his last day before the death of his career.
So basically, Tyler just thinks Pujols is going to die.
Yeah, potentially. But I think that's what we're seeing. I think it's the full emptying of the tank in every single way. And by the time he gets to the end of the season, he's probably going to be so spent, it's not even funny.
He has 41 games to hit 7 homers.
He's got it.
I don't know.
So that's a home run almost every 5 games. Is that bad?
I think Manfred probably just hit him up and was like, "Hey, Albert,
we're not testing you for the rest of the year."
Yeah, if they send some drug people there, that would be Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball, like, is not above issuing juiced balls specifically for his at bats and letting him use steroids and being like, "We're not testing that guy."
Totally in.
Like they'll send someone in there
I support it.
to be like, hey, Albert, piss in this cup. And then the guy that's testing him just fucking drinks the piss.
It's just a
And
big
he just
like
looks Albert in the eyes and is like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I didn't
just
see
fucking
anything.
throws it over his shoulder.
Clean.
It's like Albert's just like, you could have just dumped it in the sink, dude.
He's like, yeah, but now I have greatness inside me.
Yeah. Yeah. That was super weird, dude. You could have just dumped that out, but appreciate you looking the other way on this one. Oh, man. Anyways, we've got a new sponsor, a late season call up, if you will. CBD MD, the leaders in hemp-based CBD and Delta 9 THC products. These guys have everything that you could possibly need to just straight up feel better. And their latest breakthrough is Delta 9 THC. These sneaky innovators found a way to get these Delta 9 THC products shipped directly to your door. Some restrictions may apply because of course they do. So check your local laws before purchasing. But I'm telling you, this stuff is the real deal. They've got gummies packed with 10 milligrams of THC, perfect for winding down after watching the Red Sox blow yet another lead. If 10 milligrams sounds like a lot to you, well, CBD MD has you covered with their microdose soft gels. With just 1 milligram of THC, these little guys pack a punch that's perfect for all-day support whenever and wherever you need it the most. Don't get all caught up in the technicalities. This is the same THC that you've come to know and love over the years, just extracted from hemp. I make it part of my nighttime routine now. I'm gonna have some Applebee's after I'm done with this podcast, and then I'll probably watch some quick pitch, catch up on what's going on in the rest of the league. And I'm like, it's time to wind down. I'm gonna pop some CBD MD. It's a nightly routine at this point. To learn more about Delta 9 and everything else CBD MD has to offer, just head to cbdmd.com. Once again, that is cbdmd.com for information, education, and the best damn gummies that you've ever had. Must be 21 years or older to purchase Delta 9. Stop and Shop, look ahead. Brought to you by Stop and Shop. It's going to be fucking Josh Winkowski versus Ross Stripling. What a matchup. Rich Hill versus Jose Berrios. And Cutter Crawford versus Kevin Gausman, who has pitched against the Red Sox at least 9 times this year. At least. He's the new Roy Halladay. Every time we play the fucking Blue Jays, it's like, oh, which game is Halladay getting? Oh, he's going fucking Monday and Wednesday. Now we get Kevin Gausman again. The Red Sox run differential. The Red Sox are 3-10 against the Blue Jays this season with a negative 40 run differential.
Pretty good.
That's almost impossible to have a negative 40 run differential against a team. A team. Like I'm looking at the Red Sox run differential for the season is negative 37.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible when you like one of those games is like literally one of the worst defeats in MLB history.
Mm-hmm. It was real bad. Ross Stripling 5-3 this year, a 2.93 ERA, a 103 WHIP, a 7.5 strikeouts per 9. From 2020 to 2021, he had a 5.14 ERA and a 5.52 FIP. So I have no idea why he's so good this year all of a sudden. He's only allowed more than 2 earned runs in an outing once since May 8th. And that one time it was just 3 earned runs. So he's just been really fucking good, really consistent. He's only allowed 6 home runs all season. His last outing was a 78 game score, which is the best start of his entire year. 6 1/3, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts versus Baltimore. Part of the reason when Stripling has made such a jump from last year is because of his changeup. A very effective pitch in 2021. 125 batting average against and a 34% whiff rate, but he only threw it 15% of the time. So this year he's throwing it 26% of the time, and it's a 198 batting average against, 333 slug, and a 33% whiff rate. So that change piece has been nice for him. He's faced the Red Sox 3 times this year, does not have a win, but has a 3.21 ERA, a 1.21 WHIP. Blue Jays are 16-8 when he pitches, 10-6 when he starts. Red Sox hitters 233 with a 770 on base. I mean, a 770 OPS against him. Jose Berrios sucks this year. Sox. 5.39 ERA, 1.37 WHIP, and 8.2 strikeouts per nine. It's his worst ERA, FIP, ERA plus, WHIP, hits per nine, home runs per nine, strikeouts per nine since his rookie year. He leads the American League in earned runs and home runs allowed. 26 home runs is tied for his career high in less than 71 innings. His last start was the first time since July 1st that he did not allow a home run in a start. Good for you. He has 14 starts this year and has not allowed a home run in only 6 of those starts. He's allowed multiple home runs in a game 7 times this year. He has 2 starts this year with double-digit strikeouts and 7 starts this year with 1 out or less. 1 strikeout or less. He's faced the Red Sox twice. 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run. So obviously he sucks, but he carves up the Red Sox. These were both in April. Needs to be noted. 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run. Got the win. April 25th. So these were back-to-back starts. April 20th and April 25th. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. Got the no decision. But Toronto still won the game. He fucking sucks, except for when he pitches against the Red Sox. His 4-seam is getting smoked. 364, 462 slug, 18% whiff rate, 452 weighted on base average. The Blue Jays somehow, some way, are 17-7 when he starts. And here's why. They score 6.10 runs per game for him. So give up 5, but we score 10. Good for you. That makes sense. His ERA is 5, but they average 6 runs a game for the guy. 17-7 for one of their shittiest pitchers, or the shittiest pitcher that they have on their staff. And I like Berrios. I thought that was a great trade when it happened, but he's been fucking garbage since he got there. Kevin Gausman, 9-9 on the year, a 2.99 ERA, a 1.24 WHIP, and a 10.4 strikeouts per nine. This is the guy that we bang on this drum all the time. The Red Sox should have at least picked up the fucking phone and called him. They did not. Would have been great. He's got a 2.05 FIP that leads the entire Major League Baseball. Pretty good. He's allowing a lot of hits this year, 9.6 hits per nine, but only 0.5 per nine are home runs. After allowing 20 home runs last year, he has only allowed 7 this year. He's only allowed 5 earned runs in August. That's a 1.75 ERA. Has 10 starts this year, allowing 1 earned run or fewer, 7 with 0 earned runs. He has struck out at least 9 times. He has 4 starts against the Red Sox, so this is his 5th. And in 4 starts, he's 3-0 with a 1.38 ERA, an 0.92 WHIP, and a 12.8 strikeouts per nine. He's only allowed 4 earned runs in 26 innings pitched. The Reds, I mean, how? The Blue Jays are 12-11 when he starts. How are you 12-11 for fucking Gausman, but you're, what are they? 17-7? They're 17-7 for fucking Berrios. How? Anyways, those are the matchups. Josh Winkowski versus Ross Stripling, Rich Hill versus Jose Berrios, Cutter Crawford versus Kevin Gausman. Someone on the Section 10 Reddit said that I wait for everyone else to make a prediction so that I can make a prediction based on what you guys say. I'll go first. This feels like a pretty fucking easy sweep for the Blue Jays. Pat? Positive Paul.
Positive Paul.
Woo!
I want to be positive here. I do. I really
Go
do.
right ahead, yeah.
I do really want to be positive. However, someone came out with a full Excel spreadsheet.
That ramps up the pressure. Shout out to that person, by the way. That is like, that's somebody who fucking hates their day job.
And
they just got to the office and spent 6 hours at the cubicle putting
Maybe
together.
they just love the pod.
Yeah.
They love the pod.
Love the pod. And I have an aggressively better winning percentage or statistically correct percentage than anyone else.
I thought Tyler did.
Yeah, you're not that far. Pat, I will say.
No. Tyler has more correct predictions, but due to I've only predicted I'm like 7 of 12 predictions. My bad.
Yeah. No, your percentage is the best, but I will say, you got to show up to the game to compete. And
I didn't like
you haven't.
I didn't like that spreadsheet showed how many episodes I've missed.
Same.
I didn't like that.
Anywho, I really want to be. I want to be on the fence here. I want to be both realistic and positive. based off of what Jared just said, it makes my job a little bit easier because I'm not going to select a sweep for the Blue Jays. I will say, based off the inconsistency of this club, that we're going to take one of the games against the Blue Jays.
Which one?
The one against Barrios.
Okay.
Is that the middle game?
Yes.
That's exactly my prediction as well. I'm going to say
Not surprised. Me and you are
loss,
such good friends.
win, loss. One shared brain with like 14 brain cells. Let's go.
Tyler?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 1 out of 3 as well. Like the reality is you have Josh Winkowski, who's not a big league starter pitching. You have Rich Hill, not really a big league starter pitching. And then you have Cutter Crawford, who's pitched well this year, but at the same time, just got his teeth kicked in by the Orioles. Just a bad place to be. You're hoping this offense will show up. They really haven't shown up a ton lately. You know, last 2 games, 3 and 4 runs that you lucked out with. And you know, no Nick Pivetta, who has a 3 ERA in August. Michael Wacha, who's pitched 12 2/3 scoreless since coming back. You don't have either one of those arms for this series. So, yeah,
Michael Wacha rocks.
Yeah, he does rock, and he's not appreciated enough. But that's where you are. It's just, what is there to? I think your bullpen's in, you know, decent shape because, you know, you have Strom back, and you got Matt Barnes doing his thing, and you got Schreiber and Whitlock. But the other parts of this team, I don't feel good about. And, you know, maybe the offense gives you a little bit of a spark, but as we know, they may score 10 runs one night, but that means they're going to score 3 the next 2. So, yeah, I'll go. They'll pull one way out. Classic 2022 Red Sox, but that's about it. And they'll lose the other 2 games in ways that make you not even appreciate the 1 win.
Jake?
Positivity there.
I think the Red Sox are going to sweep this one. I think I'm going to be at all 3 games too.
That's true.
Oh,
Jake's going to be in the house. Pete, you going to any of the games?
yeah. I think I'm going to try to go tomorrow. Actually, do I want to see Winkowski pitch?
No.
All right. I
Go
guess
see
I'll-
Cutter.
Yeah.
I'll go with you on Thursday if you want to go on Thursday.
I don't think I can go Thursday. I have a bachelor party. I'm leaving early Friday morning.
Where you
I
going?
guess I'll go Wednesday. Going to the Cape. It's not my favorite.
Not your least favorite. I can't wait for this
Yeah.
week's cartoon to come out, and I'll be positive Paul.
You made it this time, Pete.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. It was much appreciated. I gave that guy hell last time.
I was morbidly obese.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That was the only one I didn't
That
get.
was tough, man. That was I don't know what happened there, but I don't know if Jake had a real tough still image of you in one of the show art things, but holy jabroni.
I was atrocious.
You look like you.
the famous meme of that guy from that South Park episode that is like on the computer. That's exactly what you look like. Yeah, that is horrendous.
horrendous.
You don't look like that, Pat.
Thank you.
No, you don't look like that.
Thank you. Yeah, that was bad.
I look like Drake.
You do a little bit.
Milliken went with the profile pick off
I
of
did.
that one, and I
respect
appreciate it. I really like that move.
I
Thank
liked
you.
it too, and I was actually going to do the same, but I couldn't put that up.
That would be, I mean, you should do that. You set the bar real low for expectations on what you're supposed to look like. It's like the opposite of catfishing.
Yeah, not many
And
girls
be like-
going to be viewing the old page then.
Like, wow, this Pat Light is a disgusting piece of shit. And then they see you in real life and they're like, whoa, what the fuck? Pat really turned his life around. Like, wow, good for him. He's got his shit together. It's like, no, I never looked like that. I actually used to be a major league athlete. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, good times, guys. Good times. This is going to be a fun
We had a lot of good times.
September 23rd. It's going to be fun.
September 23rd, Cask'n Flagon. Everyone's going to be there. Tyler's going to be there.
I definitely will be there.
Tyler's definitely going to be there.
My goal is to absolutely get Tyler blacked out beyond belief.
It's going to be bad. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be real bad.
I'm-
I went out.
You get-
We had the Sports Hub company party for the first time, and I did not want to go, but I was forced to go. I learned that's an adult thing you have to do. And I was in a dark place by the end of it.
Are you insinuating you don't want to go to this?
Oh no, I'm not the most. It takes a little bit for me to loosen up, but I will loosen up.
Don't you worry, there, big guy.
I have faith, Pat. I have faith.
It's what I.
Here's an idea. What if we brought a paintball gun to the live show and we got a few of them out of the way in front of a whole crowd of people?
It's bold, Pete. I like it.
I love it.
It's content.
We should let fans shoot you.
Oh no, it has to come. The trigger pull has to come from somebody that I trust.
There's no way this bar, with liability purposes, allows
You're
us to have this on premise.
I guess. I mean, I would feel bad shooting you, Pete.
I don't think you should. We made the bet. I signed up for it. And if I had gone to all 30 games, however many I went over would have been me shooting you, and I would not have felt bad about it. So you don't have to feel bad about it.
I forgot about that part of the deal.
I'm not surprised because you just knew that it was never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, also, are there even enough home games
Probably
left
not.
for you? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, I've cleared.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever gotten shot with a paintball? It fucking hurts.
I have not. People have been
you
tagging me
haven't?
all week long about like this guy who took like 1,000 paintball
Yeah, I
shots.
saw that.
Yeah, everybody's just been tagging me in that. They're like, this is going to be you after the season. And it doesn't look fun.
No,
but
that
that guy legitimately took like 1,000 paintball shots and seemed to not die. So makes you feel a little bit better.
I've only gone paintballing once, and I was pretty good at it. The one time that I got shot was bullshit because when you run out of paintballs, you're supposed to put your paintball gun in the air to signal like, hey, I'm out of the game. And then someone shot me in the fucking hand. And I got little baby hands. So it hurt. It sucks.
I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, it can't be worse than like getting, what's that called? Rat-tailed?
Ugh.
Like you'll have welts for sure.
What's rat-tailed?
Never heard
Like
of
when
that.
you take a towel and you fucking whip someone.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do this podcast. Like, I'm not the host of this podcast. This is your show, Jared. But I just came across something on Twitter that I think is a really good ending point for this podcast. But you decide,
Sure.
Jared, it's your thing.
Sure.
By the way, for clarification before I start this, is this Jonathan Palpon on Twitter the actual guy?
Yes.
Because Twitter has not given him the authentication yet, so I'm just making sure.
Right.
But he quote tweeted me about you guys seen this video, this viral video of this guy drinking beer with a hot dog straw?
I did see that.
Yeah. Jonathan Palpon, not known for his PR delicacy, quote tweets me saying, "Come on, I thought you knew that all Yankee fans suck wieners for beer. Hashtag suck it down." There you have it, folks.
My man.
He is one of the best accounts on Twitter right now.
I, under no circumstances, can respond to this tweet.
Not in 2022.
No.
Yeah, he's for sure like he's made his money. He's doing a podcast with Blackjack Fletcher. So it's like he's his own boss in a way. And I really don't think he gives a fuck if people cancel him.
Yeah, I really do think that Jonathan Papelbon like just skated by at the right time to have an MLB career. Like if he had come into the league 5 years later, his career would have been immediately cut short by him being canceled. He would have played for like 19 teams because he would have just kept getting cut. He would have essentially been like John Rocker 2.0.
This is a wild fucking statistic from Jeremy Frank, MLB Random Stats on Twitter. Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols is slugging 1,300 over his last 10 games. It's his highest slugging percentage in a 10-game span in his entire career.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Did you see the classic Bob Nightingale tweet?
What do you say?
Said Albert Pujols closing in on 700 home runs, insists he's still retiring. Why not? He'll be in the 7 home run club with another home run tonight. 693.
Thanks, Bob.
He's such
That tweet just like there's just fart sounds in my brain trying to figure out that tweet. He literally says, like, he'll be in the 7 home run club with another home run tonight. Number 693. Just very good math.
I don't care what anyone tells me. He does all this on purpose. There's no way.
Unbelievable. There's actually
the reporting stuff. Like, he can't be getting stuff wrong.
No.
He can't be doing his job badly on purpose. Like, there's one thing with like fucking around on Twitter for engagement, but like, he's literally doing his job very poorly, and I don't think he's doing it for engagement.
He doesn't even say anything when it does go poorly. He just kind of...
I do kind of respect it. Like, he's a volume shooter. And he's missed like 98% of his shots, and he just keeps putting them up and never acknowledging the fact that he's bad at shooting.
Yeah, it is unironic. Like, I've never like met him, but I've been around him at like the winter meetings, and he's just like is like a stumbling, bumbling guy. He's just one of those guys. Like, you see him and you're like, yep, that's the guy behind the Twitter. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's just fucking quick draw McGraw, firing from the hip and like killing women and children because he cannot shoot straight.
Yeah. Like, his tweet breaking the news that Bauer was going to the Mets is all time. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Bauer is a Met.
And then when he thought he ended the lockout, and the lockout was not ending after an entire night of trying to act like it was coming to an end.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, if you feel it, you feel it in your gut.
Yeah, right? Sometimes you just
fire it out there.
Some people report based off of sources. Some people report based off their plums. And who's to say who's right in their approach?
He's a gut reporter.
All I remember,
you gotta respect that.
All I remember was that, and then he was like handing out bagels like the morning, and people were taking pictures of him and like, look at Bob Nightingale, like, look at all the hard work, like he's about to be our hero. And then it all crumbled in front of him in 24 hours.
He can't get out of his own way. He was about to have the redemption of all redemptions, being the guy that broke the news that the lockout was over. Nope, passing. As always, vintage passing. He's a killer. All right. I think that's it, right, Jake? We got all the reads in there. Yep. All right. Enjoy your series against the Toronto Blue Jays. It's definitely going to go well. It's going to be a good one for the Red Sox at Fenway. Who comes at Tampa's here this weekend?
Yeah, they're after the Blue Jays series.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what the Red Sox need to get back on top, is just more AL East teams.
70% the rest of the way.
That's what we need.
Perfect. Have them right where we want.
And then the Twins after that, who are also in front of you.
Ooh, perfect.
They stink. I'm more concerned about the AL East teams than the Twins. Spoiler, I'm predicting a sweep against the fucking Twins.
Even if they don't win the next 6 games.
Mm-hmm. They go 0-6. I'm going into that Twin series. I'm predicting sweep.
Put it on the chart.
What are you doing, Pat?
Throwing this little thing.
Oh, I thought you were like swatting a fly. All right. We'll see you on Friday morning after this 3-game set against Toronto. I'll see you there. Bye.
Buenas noches, amigos.